2 days after Raw. Okay. I gotta do a short review of Raw. Because I don't do Raw reviews anymore. This is just basically my thoughts about the whole show. It was a joke. Anyone who loved seeing the Shield back together after Braun Strowman got his ass handed to him by them is being tricked. I'm not saying it because other reviewers are saying it. I'm saying it for the simple reason they only did that to get Roman over. If you saw my SummerSlam review, there was no one cheering for Roman. It was dead silence due to the fact that they got rid of all the boos. It was basically muffled silence. They literally put the music up and they took out the sounds of the population inside the arena to make people think the music was too loud. That's what you got in SummerSlam. Here, no one... I'm not going to say no one was happy in the beginning of that show with Finn Balor getting the shot that he got. But let's be honest. Did you actually believe Finn was going to get a fair shake here? He was a freaking afterthought. And he was. And in the end, Braun Strowman is an afterthought. They are using him to get Roman Reigns over by trying to turn him heel. And it's not going to work. People are not going to fall for it. Braun Strowman's still a face. They love him. They want him as champ. And they're going to keep cheering for him even though he's going to act as heelish as possible, which is going to make them cheer more. They hate Roman Reigns, but they love the Shield. And because they hate Roman Reigns and love the Shield, eventually the Shield will be booed. It's going to happen. And that means Dean Ambrose is being sacrificed, which is okay because people want him as a heel. Seth Rollins is going to be sacrificed, which people do not want him to turn heel. They'd rather keep him face. And basically, Roman Reigns is going to be considered a heel, as he's always been considered a heel, a piece of garbage, as they consider it. Now, let's go to Smackdown Live. Hopefully, I isn't too long and too winded. Was this better than Raw? Yes. It was a better show. I did enjoy it more than I enjoyed Raw. But there were things in that I did not like. Let's get to the first thing. What did we actually get with Rusev, Lana, and Andrade Cien Almost, and Zelina? I keep mispronouncing Zelina Vega's name. I don't know. I keep thinking of Serena Vega instead of Zelina Vega. I don't speak Spanish. I don't pronounce things wrong in Spanish. That's why I'm messing up. Oh, but anyway, what did we get in this match? Nothing. Yes, we got Aiden English backing up Rusev and Lana at the end. Now, I could say in the middle of it, it wasn't 100% a bad match, but you can see that they tried not to emphasize Lana that much, even though, well, I take that back. She was emphasized. Because she wants to wrestle, they're giving her more prominent time. They are. This was more about Lana than anything else due to the fact, and Selena, and Zelina, that is about them. This wasn't about Rusev. It wasn't about Sienna Sela. It wasn't about Almost either. It's a little bit more about them. Even though at the end, Aiden English did back him up and pretty much say, I'm always going to be in your corner. He's in my face. I'm always going to be in the corner. I'm always there for you. I'm always there for you. He's in my shoulder. And it's just so freaking sad that even though this time around, they allowed him to be there as a face, there's no guarantee he's going to stay there because I still feel like they're going to try and separate the three. I'm hoping I'm wrong and maybe they may stick them back together and Aiden English will do his job. He announces for Lana and he announces for Rusev. But then, what is Sienna Almost getting? What is Zelina Vega getting? Finally got her name right. What are they getting? They're not really getting anything because they're dealing with someone that, even though he's loved, doesn't have anything. So I feel sorry for them. Second, and I gotta do it. Look, when it comes to Peyton Royce, I gotta say this. The girl had a breast job. I saw the reporting about Meltzer. I heard what he said. And look, I'm 50 years old almost. I'm 47. And even I recognize what the guy was talking about. He wasn't talking about her weight. He was talking about her breast. But let's be honest here. They don't like to hear that. No matter if they were talking about her weight or her tits. They don't want to hear it when it comes down to it. So he was dumb for actually making the comment. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm not trying to promote him. I'm just telling the truth. The internet doesn't give a damn. Once they lock on to something, they will bury you even if you're right. When it comes down to a Peyton Royce, she got breast implants. He liked her without her breast implants. He gets screwed for it. People hate him for it. There you go. But here's the thing I hate. You have Peyton Royce go up against Naomi, who we haven't seen on TV in a singles match in months. Months, mind you. People still love Naomi. They were cheering for Naomi on this show in Brooklyn. They were cheering loudly for her. And in the end, what did we get? The person who's being cheered, who's not from New York, who's from Florida, literally lost to the Iconics. A girl group who are more managers than wrestlers. And I'm not taking anything away from them training and working their ass off to be in good shape. This is about their actual wrestling ability. And honestly, they're average to sometimes below average. They're not high quality wrestlers. They're just not. They're more managers who can periodically wrestle, which what they should be. And then I know there's going to be some guys that say they suck. They don't have the heat they like. They got get off my TV heat. Dude, for anyone who's that, lady or male, let's be honest. Sex sells. You got a nice piece of ass, a nice pair of tits. For a guy, a nice pair of pecs and a nice dick. It don't make a difference. If you look good and you talk well enough, you can get over. No matter how much you don't like them, there may be 10 people more that will like them and make enough money to do something. You may not like it. I don't like seeing Naomi lose, but still they did this. I do not agree with it. But as it stands, because they're still pushing the Evolution brand, because Evolution will become its own brand eventually, the way they're going at it, they had to do this, which is stupid. Let's move on. We have Randy Orton go up against Jeff Hardy, which I think shouldn't have happened. But I'm kind of glad it did. It shouldn't have happened in a sense that maybe they should have the match in 3 weeks of Hell in a Cell. That this should have been a basic brawl. That Jeff Hardy should have just kept beating him up, put his foot to his nuts, and end the match then, instead of actually having a real match. It should have been Jeff beating the crap out of Randy Orton, hit him in the nuts, and then in the end they have a brawl and they just go off the way they go. That would have been better than an actual match. But in the end, at the end of it, it was pretty damn nice. It wasn't the greatest thing, but it was nice enough to make me interested in the Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton feud. But here's the problem, I say this again. What about Shinsuke Nakamura? He's now a freaking afterthought. He had a little video package of himself on a cell phone. My leg itch. And what was he doing? The United States of Nakamura, America. Nakamura. If I'm pronouncing it right. Fine. That's interesting. He's saying that he is now Nakamura America. Or Nakamura. If I'm pronouncing it right, it makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying. It's so stupid. But in the end, the problem I see is this. What about Shinsuke? It would have been better, and I'm being honest here. Because they included Randy Orton with Shinsuke so much, Randy Orton should be influencing Shinsuke Nakamura, and Randy Orton should have had Nakamura come out in his corner watching him, even if he doesn't have the title yet. And that's Randy Orton. Shinsuke could be kind of like someone who's in his corner, his enforcer in a sense. That would have been better. That's just me. But at least give Nakamura a chance. Give him something. He's in my face. Give him something to do. Now, The Miz and Mrs., which is Maurice. The opening of the show was done very, very... Oh, I loved the opening. The Miz comes out, doesn't say anything, shows to be upset. The crowd is cheering for Daniel Bryan. He shows to be upset. Maurice puts her hand on his shoulder. He still shows to be upset. Well, not accept, upset. But then he accepts something. A Grammy Award for singing his ass off like a good face. That makes any sense. Oh, let's be honest. This was actually kind of nice. Making fun of Daniel Bryan, saying that I am retiring. He was mocking him and then says, I'm retiring from ever dealing with Daniel Bryan because I beat him. That was good. Now, you guys know how I feel about the Daniel Bryan build. It's been bad. He should have been losing and then really lose to The Miz like it is just really bad. He should have at least been losing a bit, won a couple of matches, went up against The Miz, lose again. Then this segment could have happened and would have been even more dramatic. But we get what we get. It wasn't bad. Pretty much once Maurice starts talking, said, go home to your woman and be the woman of the relationship. Brie comes out, and I thought she was going to hit Maurice. Nope. She hits The Miz. I think I got a shot. It's in my face. That was actually interesting to see that Brie hits The Miz. The camera work they did that on that segment wasn't that great because it should have panned kind of in between the ring, and you could have gotten a better shot of seeing Brie punch him in the face. But it was actually pretty well done. I was actually very interested in seeing Maurice running out of the ring instead of trying to protect a man. The Miz get punched up, and then Daniel Bryan clotheslines him out of the ring, and then we find out from Daniel Bryan they're going to have a match at Hell in a Cell. It's a mixed tag. I knew that was coming because we saw Brie. There was no way they were going to do it. This is a John Cena, Nikki Bella moment, but with Daniel Bryan and Brie versus The Miz. And I got to say this. Let's be honest here. For them to do this, and for the crowd to be cheering the way they were, it's not just because people still like Brie. It's not because people love Daniel Bryan. Let's be honest. Miz is the best all-around worker that company has today. This is not a joke. This is not stupidness. This is a freaking fact. No matter how much people may not like The Miz, they may think he's a freaking hack. He can't use his own stuff. Let's be honest. As he is right now, he's the best performer they've had in maybe 20 years. And I'm not taking anything away from Austin. I'm not taking anything away from The Rock. I'm not taking anything away from Triple H, HBK, Batista, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, even John Cena. Whether you like him or not, he was controversial enough to be interesting, even though he was shoved down our throat. The Miz, at this moment, is the most best performer of wrestling they have. And if they lose him, I give my word, they'll never fill it with the right person. Never. The day he leaves, they better have someone there to take his place that will do his job as best as him, or they're going to call him back. And keep calling him back every single time with a bigger and bigger paycheck. Paycheck. But you get my point. Now, let's move on to the segment with AJ Styles. They're still doing the premise of AJ being really emotional because of what Samoa Joe did. I'm alright with that. He's basically didn't say anything at first, and Renee Young trying to get some out of him. Then he finally starts talking, and he pretty much says, I'm not glad that it ended the way it did, but I am glad I beat the crap out of Samoa Joe. And the next time he talks about my family, I'm going to beat the crap out of him again. And guess what? Samoa Joe grabs him by his ankles, throws him to the floor, puts a cleaner clutch on him, puts him to sleep, and says pretty much to Wendy, hey, it's me again. You like it? You like what I'm doing? Guess what? It's going to keep up, and your daddy ain't coming home. Throws him to the floor. Well done. But I got to admit, JD, and I'm going to put his name below me. I know he's way bigger than me, but I'm going to still put it there because he did mention something I didn't notice. He pretty much said if AJ was that emotional during SummerSlam against Samoa Joe, he shouldn't have done a regular match. He should have just started beating the crap out of him. That is what he should have did, like what I said for Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. I think that should have happened at SummerSlam. But it's understandable. I guess they didn't want to go that far because they wanted to give people something to build up into. But still, I didn't notice that. And he's right. I feel like he should have beat the crap out of him. But let's move on. We have the... I might as well do this one right now. You got the Bludgeon Brothers versus New Day. That was a good match. Biggie wasn't there because he hurt his ribs. So it was... Let's put it to you like this. You got two big guys in Luke and Eric versus two small guys in a Kofi and a Xavier Woods. Let's be honest. A lot of times that works. And in this case, it did work. There's a lot that was going on. Even though I've been scrolling at least a few pictures by my face, if they hadn't already finished. Let's be honest. It was a good no disqualification match. It was pretty good. In the end, I'm angry. You know why? Because this should have happened at SummerSlam. New Day should have just won the titles. Why do you have to put on Smackdown Live? Why don't you just do it on the show? I just feel like it was a waste of time having their match at SummerSlam, and that should have been the match they had at SummerSlam. It should have been a no disqualification match. They could have had a fight like they did at SummerSlam the night before, that Tuesday of SummerSlam, and it would make better sense to have a no DQ at SummerSlam, which would actually probably helped it. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. If I'm forgetting anything, I'm sorry. Finally, we're going to talk about the thing that's the most important. A not very well choreographed fight. Or maybe better yet, the women were not strong enough. Maybe that might be the words I'll use. No, better yet, the women were too timid. Because that's the way they acted in this segment when it came to Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Becky came out and tore the ass out of that segment. It was beautiful. Even though she had a lot of those deep breaths, because she was talking a lot. She was going, she was trying to get as much out and taking a deep breath in. That's how Becky talks anyway, but it's a little bit it kind of distracts. But it takes nothing away from that segment. That was a damn good. I think that was the best segment I've ever seen Becky do. And she's still going to have the crowd in a corner. There is no way, even after what she said simply, I finally opened my eyes that I am out of Charlotte's shadow. But you guys were not there for me. You guys said, hey, we love you. But when I got screwed, when Charlotte got into this match, a few people said I got screwed, but in the end, only a few people. Why didn't you say more? Why don't you say, give Becky a chance? Why don't you boycott the show? No, you came. And the minute that Charlotte won, you cheered for her. What about me? What about me? And that really made things good. I just loved it. And then Miss Happy Bags come out. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be holding any punches back. I'm being honest here. I understand they could have a good storyline with Becky and Charlotte, but let's be honest. Charlotte should never have been in that match after having a breast repaired and replaced. Her titties are bigger, and now I'm sure some people in the back like them bigger now because you can see the larger, and it's just not right. It's just not right, not just because she's a Flair. Maybe she's been wiggling her titties at somebody. And I know I'm going to get flack for that. I'm really sorry. I'm not a sexist pig. But let's be honest, this is the wrestling business. Women do that to get ahead. If they don't got name recognition, they're going to show their body. That's what happened with Melina. Or did you forget about that? Anyway, once she came out showing her title, she ran down to the ring. They had the brawl, and here is the worst part of this segment that was so stupid. All the women Paige called for, all of them, not security, the women. They all came out. They started grabbing at Paige, and they started grabbing at Charlotte, and they could barely hold them. Even the guys did a better job when they're not supposed to. It's like they didn't understand the concept. Make it look real. Because the women didn't make it look real. The women made it look so choreographed. They didn't know how to handle it. I don't know if this has ever been done on Smackdown Live in the last year or two where women had to hold back other women. Because they didn't know how to do it. These women didn't know how to do it. And one point, Charlotte wasn't even held and she charged at Becky and she looked like she was already out of breath. That showed you how bad this is. They should have been able to hold the other. It makes my scalp itch. How badly choreographed that was. At one point, Charlotte just shoved Naomi like she was a toy. And Naomi acted like she got hit in the head. When she didn't, she got shoved on the shoulder. Lana, the same thing, got hit in the head once and she fell to the ground like a stack of potatoes. Not stack, a bag of potatoes. It was that bad. That was terrible. But Becky's segment was beautiful. So, what does it come down to this show? It was good. It wasn't a bad show. It was actually a good show. But that segment was just, gosh, awful. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!